Hi all, welcome to Diversified Finance. My name is Lakal. In my last video, I talked about how to save money, and today we're going to focus on how to increase your savings and reduce your expenses. I'm really sorry. This is all the space I have. Like kind of like looks congested, but I'll go one by one. So before I talk about expenses, one thing I want to just mention. It's very important that you understand the difference between need and want, right? Just because you want something, it might not mean that you really need it. So for example, if you look at cars, right, you can buy a car for 10,000, 20, 100,000, 150,000. At the end of the day, if you think about a car, it's just an engine with four wheels, and it'll help you to go from point A to point B. That's all it does. But if you spend so much on a car, by end of the day, uh, you end up paying your higher repayments. So your repayments will be a lot higher. So if you're paying a higher repayment for a car, and if you planning to save money and retire early, that will reduce your savings per month. So instead of that, if you go for a $10,000 car with just the same thing, instead of buying a $100,000 car, and at the end of the day, yes, for a certain period of time, you probably be driving an average car, but it'll help you to go to your achieve your goal a lot earlier and save more money along the way. So let's talk about expenses. So in my last video, we talked about monthly income of 5,000, and then your monthly expenses about 4,500. So for 5,000 income minus expenses, that would be $500 a month. So we were planning to save $500 a month. So right now I'm going to focus on expenses, how we can reduce our expenses and increase our savings, so we get to our goal a lot earlier, like without waiting for 5 years. So the first one is mortgage repayment. So if you say, for example, for your mortgage, if you're paying interest rate say around 3% or 2.5%, probably you would be able to talk to your bank and then get a less interest rate. In that case, then you probably be able to reduce your repayment to a certain extent, which would help you to cut down on your repayment to a certain extent. So that's one way of reducing your mortgage repayment. Maybe probably for rent you would be able to do the same, especially given these days because of COVID-19. You can probably talk to your landlord and then ask him to a discount on your rent. So that would help you to cut down on your rent and your mortgage repayments. And next one would be car repayments, right? So as I explained before, if you go for a expensive car, your repayments would be higher. But if you go for an average car with just the same thing, you could cut down on your expenses. So if you have expensive car, if you're willing to sell it and go for average cars for about 10,000 or so, then you probably be able to save a bit of money from your car repayment as well. And then you can prepare a meal at home. You can prepare all your meals at home. Like if you're married, your wife can cook, or you can probably help her, or you can cook if you want to. And then when you go to work, you can prepare your lunch at home and take it over there, which would help you to save a bit of money, other than spending it at the coffee shop, or a shop where you buy your lunch or dinner or breakfast or likewise. And phone bills and gas, electricity. Phone bill, say for example, right now if you have 100 gig per month, and if you feel like you're not using that much of data per month, you can just talk to your phone dealer and say, okay, I'm not using this much of data per month. I would like to reduce my plan to maybe 50 gig per month or so, and then you can reduce your phone bill likewise. And then gas and electricity is the same. You can talk to Origin or AGL and switch back and forth, and if they have some kind of discount, like I think I'm getting 22% off on my gas and electricity with IGL, because I set up a direct debit. So likewise, you can cut down on your expenses, phone bill, and your mortgage, car payment, and you can cook meals at home in order to reduce your expenses. So when it comes to income, so you already have a job. This is all about having a second job, second income. So if you free like during the weekend, and if you don't doing much, if you have like few like 4 to 5 or 6 hours that you think that you can dedicate on Uber, that could generate you like a second income. Or you can do some kind of online business where it helps you to like make a bit of extra money that would help you to increase your income. Likewise, Airtasker, there's an app called Airtasker. You can download it, and then if someone wants to clean their house or mow their lawn or something, you can go out there and help them out, and they would pay you some kind of money depending on what kind of job you do. So that could help you to increase your income as well. If you have a spare room at home, you can rent it out for someone else, and you probably get there would be like a income that you could get like per week, per month, likewise. But of course, I know like if you rent your room, you kind of lose your privacy because there's outsiders living in your room. But end of the day, your goal is to retire early and save more money. So if that's your goal, you probably be able to sacrifice your privacy to get to your goal. So that's negotiable actually. And of course, you can go up to your boss and then ask for an increase. Likewise, you can increase your income as well. So let's quickly look at what we talked about in the last video. So we calculated all our income. It's about $5,000, and the total expenses was 4,500. So let's say by doing all this, by going through all your repayments and cutting down on your expenses, that you would be able to save $100 per month. So you cut down on your expenses, so you reduce it to 4,400 right here, likewise. And then just by doing Uber, and then you manage to increase your income by say $150 a month, right? It's right here. So before you used to save only say $5,000 a month, but because of you cut down on your expenses and you increased your savings, now you would probably be able to save $750 per month. So that would help you to reach your goal of 30,000 in 3 years and 43 years and 4 months. So instead of waiting for 5 years to save 30,000, you'll probably be able to, if you save $750 a month, and then if you times that by 12, times that by 3.4 months, you'll probably be able to get to your goal, which is 30,000. So in this case, because you decrease your expenses and increase your savings, you'll probably be able to save 30,000 in 3.4 months, 3 years and 4 months. And likewise, if you're like a really good saver, and if you really work hard on your expenses to cut it down, you could increase this one to about $1,000. So if that's the case, you'll probably be able to get to your goal in 2.5 years, which is 30,000 here. And I know some people, there are some people that it's kind of really hard for them to save. They sometimes don't have enough income, to pay their expenses. So their income is less than their expenses, and they use their credit card to get ahead. And at the same time, I've met some people who are really good at saving money, and then they have cut down on their expenses from a long time, and they kind of got used to it. And I know they've been telling me stories that some people have been saving say $5,000 to $6,000 a month. So there are some people out there, you might not believe it, but I know they have done it. I've seen their Excel spreadsheet. There are some people out there who can even save $5,000 a month just by living below your means. So they really got a control of their expenses more than the income. The income could be constant, or maybe they could be doing some other ways to make extra income. And they have really got hold of their expenses, which is a really good thing. Anyone can get there if you practice, and they manage to save about $5,000 a month. So that means there are some people out there who can even save $60,000 a year, right? And then if you can save that much of money per year, imagine what you can do with that money, right? But you won't be able to get there straight away. It takes a lot of practice, but it's achievable. It's not a big deal. Once you get hold of it, like once you cut down on your expenses and then really get control your expenses and increase your income. So imagine if you can save that much of money, then you have a lot of money that you can invest and then make your money work for you. So imagine if you're saving 60,000 a year, and then if you save that for 5 years, that's something closer to 300,000. So that will be like a really decent down payment if you're planning to buy a property or likewise. Yeah, so that's a long video. I really appreciate your time. Sorry about this mess. This is all I have. I don't have any more space. This is the biggest whiteboard that I could find like at office work. So thanks for your time. Until I talk to you in the next video, you have a good night. See ya. Bye.